You are trying to relax right now. Maybe you are lying down. Maybe you put on something comfortable to watch. Maybe you told yourself tonight you would just switch off. And yet something keeps pulling at you. A thought you cannot finish. A task you did not complete. A feeling that you should be doing something else. You are not lazy. You are not anxious. You are not broken. Your brain was simply never designed to rest. For almost the entire span of human existence, relaxation was a luxury that could get you killed. While you were sitting still, something else was moving. While you were sleeping deeply, something else was watching. The minds that survived were not the ones that found peace. They were the ones that stayed just alert enough, just restless enough, to never be caught completely off guard. That restlessness did not disappear when you moved indoors. It came with you, and it is still running right now. Underneath everything you do, neuroscientist Marcus Raichle at Washington University made a discovery in the early 2000s that changed how scientists understood the human brain. He was studying brain activity during rest, expecting to find a brain powering down, going quiet. What he found instead was the opposite. When subjects were given nothing to do, a specific network of brain regions lit up with intense activity. He called it the default mode network. Your brain, when left alone, does not rest. It activates. It runs through unfinished conversations. It rehearses future scenarios. It replays past events, searching for what went wrong and what could go wrong next. It simulates social situations, monitors threats, revisits decisions. Raichle described it as the brain's baseline state, not sleep, not shutdown, but a kind of internal surveillance program running continuously in the background. You feel this as the inability to sit quietly, as the mind that will not stop even when the body is still, as the thoughts that arrive the moment you try to sleep. This is not malfunction. This is the design. Psychologist Matthew Killingsworth at Harvard tracked the daily thoughts of thousands of people using a real-time app that interrupted them at random moments and asked what they were thinking. What he found was striking. People spent nearly half of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they were currently doing. And critically, a wandering mind was consistently a less happy mind. But here is what most people miss about that finding. The wandering was not random. It followed a pattern. People's minds drifted almost exclusively toward the future or the past, toward things that hadn't happened yet or things that had already occurred. Rarely to the present moment. Rarely to the thing directly in front of them, because the present moment, if it is safe and stable, holds no new information. And your brain was built to process information, to detect change, to find the edge of things. A brain sitting in a quiet room with nothing wrong is, from an evolutionary standpoint, a brain wasting its most valuable resource. So it invents problems, or it rehearses old ones, or it starts scanning for new ones. Anything to stay engaged, anything to stay useful. Evolutionary psychologist Randolph Ness at Arizona State University has studied what he calls the smoke detector principle. Your threat detection system is calibrated to fire far more often than necessary because the cost of missing a real threat vastly outweighs the cost of thousands of false alarms. This same principle applies to your resting state. Your brain would rather generate 10 unnecessary worries than miss the one that matters, and so it never fully stands down. There is also something else happening beneath the surface. Your brain is deeply social. Even when you are alone, it is running simulations of other people, what they think of you, what they might do, how a conversation went wrong, how a future one might go better. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar's research suggests that a significant portion of your default mode network activity is devoted entirely to social cognition. The brain at rest is largely a brain thinking about other minds. You were built for a world where relationships were survival, where knowing who trusted you and who did not was the difference between eating and starving, where reading the group correctly was more important than almost anything else. Your brain rehearses social scenarios, not because you are insecure, but because social intelligence was the single greatest advantage your species ever developed. The restlessness you feel is that intelligence with nowhere to go. So, what do you do with a brain that will not stop? The research points to one consistent finding. Your brain does not need less activity. It needs better activity. Meditation, deep focus, physical movement, creative work. These do not turn the default mode network off. They redirect it. They give the surveillance system something worth running on. The people who report the deepest sense of rest are not the ones who emptied their minds. They are the ones who fully occupied them with something that demanded complete attention. Flow states, absorbed reading, a conversation that pulled you entirely in, a physical task that required everything you had. Your brain was never going to be quiet, but it can be satisfied. The next time you cannot relax, do not fight the restlessness. Understand it. Your brain is not sabotaging you. It is doing exactly what kept your ancestors alive through 2 million years of uncertainty. It is looking for the next thing that matters. Give it something worthy of its attention.